Yate from New Mexico. Welcome to my channel, New Mexico Outdoors with Mountaintop Bob. Well, I have to say, frustration has set in. Everything I was doing after winter was over and that long break, get in here and get a little backlighting. I don't know if it does me any good or not. Check that out. I don't know if you can see down in there or not. It's pretty cool. All right, so here's the rub. I go down to the lake. I shoot numerous photographs, video, everything comes back. It's all out of level or out of focus. Frustration. So when you have a problem, what I did is throw money at it. And as it turns out, it wasn't as much the tripod that was giving me grief as it was the ball head. Trying to shoot video with a ball head just will not work, not for me anyway. So I went and did my research, and I decided on this gizmo. I'm sure anybody that's in photography recognizes that, but this is a quite expensive video head made by Fruto, I don't know. And just clear everything up. I'm not advertising for nobody. I just got tired of everything being out of level. I couldn't pan, I couldn't tilt, nothing, and really make it work right. And especially with this big old lens, it's stretched out 600 millimeters right now. This is a Canon 77D on the back of it, and this is crop censored camera, so it's really, well, let me get out of the shadow. It's really more than somewhere up around 900 millimeters because of the crop sensor. All right, so I've only found one thing. Well, I want to tell about when I first pulled it out of the box. This thing is spring loaded. And I was loosening everything and moving in. I'm like, well, this ain't going to work. But as you can see right now, I've got everything as loose as it can go, and I've balanced the lens. Now you have to balance them out at 600 millimeters, or if I slide that lens all the way back, it'll be back heavy and it'll want to flop down to the back. But right now, it's really loose. All right, so before I get into it, this gizmo right here is the only thing that I found that I didn't like. In fact, this thing is really loose. Now, that's what holds the lens on, and that's all well and good, and I like it, and it's solid once it's together. But you take that camera off, and this slide right here off, this is sloppy loose. So, and the threads are quite long, really, they're really long. So my concern was that it was threaded into the little thing that holds the camera tight on the head. As it turns out, it's not. It just goes up against that and pushes it up against the camera. This gizmo here, whatever you call it, a slide. But so here's my thing: if I had this in a backpack and was hiking for hours and hours, and I got there and this guy wasn't there because it fell out because it's so loose, or if I had it on my four-wheeler and was out riding, and then I get there without that, you're done. You're shot dead in the water. So my suggestion is make sure that you screw this in firmly and snug it up against that body right there before you transport it, or it might not be there when you get where you're going. All right, now this thing is sweet. I want to talk about the tripod though real quick, because I couldn't afford a decent head and a tripod, so I was concerned. See if I can get out of the sun, get over this way. There it is, lit. You see that? Thank you, Lisa. You can tell how much I've been using it. to no avail. Everything come back crap, and I wouldn't post it. So now I'm out there a ways without posting a video. So this is a tripod that a friend of mine, Lisa, gave me, and it was so light. I thought, well, this thing ain't nothing, right? You know, I mean, it is like feather light, and I'm thinking, well, this tripod will never work, so I'm gonna have to buy a tripod too. The only thing I could really afford to go with this camera was only rated at about 15 to 17 pounds. This tripod is rated at 17 pounds. So I decided I'll try it. And as it turns out, it works relatively good. Now, I'm sure when it's jacked out all the way like it is now, this is this fully extended little travel tripod. I'm sure the wind blowing would move this, but it feels pretty solid. But anyway, so let's now, thank you, Lisa. I didn't realize that this thing's expensive. A couple $100 to buy that. The ball head on top of it, however, might be good for photography. But even in my photography, I'm always having to level in the post photography. So anyway, so here we go. Got a little level under there, and it takes a little bit without having that another way to level it, but it's doable. All right, so let's see what we got here. Look how smooth this thing is. Let me back here where I can. And it stays right where you put it. It does have a little bit of a drift if you don't get it balanced just right. It'll drift back on you a little bit because it is spring loaded, spring assist. But that is like super easy to tilt. And I love it. It just stays right where you put it. And panning is like perfect. All right, so this morning I've already shot some video of a bird up in this tree. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get in here and pan around this tree and zoom in really tight and stop in a few different spots and see how it works. And I'll be back. All right, so I'm back in my studio doing a voiceover. The rest of this video was shot the day after the first part where the panning through the trees. I wanted to play with golden hour and shoot from a little different angle. Same tree, basically the same birds or more like them.
Let's see, what have I learned? Well, first off, the video head that I bought is a Manfrotto. I think's how you pronounce that. And I think it's the 502AH, I believe was the numbers on it. And I've learned a couple things about it. I figured out how to stop that drift back, and it's simply in the balance. And I also learned, because when I was shooting this part of the video, it was so windy that I have better luck when I tighten down the drag or the tension on the pan and the tilt. It doesn't seem to allow the wind to move the camera around so much, but I didn't know that part until the end of this video. That's when I figured that out. So you'll be able to see as it goes on, it gets a little better. Let's see. What else do I want to say? I was at a point where I was ready just to sell it all, get rid of it, be done. I could not get it together. But I figured out basically what all my problems were, what most of them were. And in the focus, I have to say, just because you have a 600 millimeter lens or a crop censored camera and makes it 900, whatever, you still got to get close. Especially up here, excuse me, especially up here on top of this mountain, the air temperature and the ground temperature is so vastly different. There's always that haze out there. So if you're shooting at anything over, I would say 50 yards away, 30, 40, 50 yards away, that haze is going to be in your video. And it also interferes in the focus on the camera. So I've learned that I have to get close enough that haze to keep that air temperature difference, that haze that it creates from interfering so much. All right, so that's that part. Let's see what else. I said that, yep, tighten it all down if it's really windy, and you'll have better luck not having camera shake in the wind. Plans for the future. Now that I'm having fun again, get out and get some more stuff. Get it on YouTube. And I hope you guys enjoy this. These are just some little birds that were in my tree, my only big tree in my yard, and went out and practiced there a little bit. And I think I'm ready to get back down to the lake and try it again. But in the meantime, I've got prairie dogs between here and there, so I don't know if my ADHD will kick in, and that's what I'll be videoing. But I won't get out there with this. Now I'm happy again. So I had an actual 6 weeks of actual frustration, taking pictures, videos, nothing turning out, yada, yada, yada. Threw a little money at it, and here we go. All right, guys. Y'all come back now. Guys and girls. See ya.